Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great Monday. Today is July 1st, 2019, and this is the oil and gas sector review. And the reason we're starting to cover this particular sector today is while looking at the various charts, it looks like oil, energy, gas is starting to bottom out and break out higher. And we think that there's going to be a great opportunity, and we want to get on top of it as soon as possible and show you what we see. So starting with the crude oil contract here, you're seeing that we found support at that 50 level, coincided with that 38 RSI, and we broke back above this downtrend that we've been in since 2018. And we broke back above it before, and then we quickly fell right below it. So now we're above the 50 RSI level. We've got the MACDs curling above zero. And with the 13 and the 26 moving averages now converging and serving as support, that could serve as a current of momentum that will probably push us towards that 67.5 level and perhaps higher towards that 77.5 level in the coming months. So there's a lot of pent up energy and momentum, and I think that this is a great opportunity in the sector to retest those highs from last year. Now, taking a look at a couple of these larger ETFs, here's the Energy Fund, DBE, and notice that we fell all the way to 13, but we didn't retest the lows from earlier 2019, and now we're starting to rebuild that momentum and energy, and perhaps surge higher with a couple of points of resistance here, with the convergence of the moving averages and the previous high at 1566. But we're right below the 50, and you'll see this as a theme. We're either right above or right below the 50 with some substantial MACD divergence and convergence rather towards zero. So it's a positive sign, and I think we're going to make a run towards that 19 area sometime this year. The XLE, the major ETF in the oil and the energy sector, and again we're right at that 50 level, and we're at the 50 level today, and we're at basically 64 on the ETF, and we're at a similar momentum when we were at 68. So that's a positive divergence right now that we're seeing, and I think this is setting us up for a very nice move higher. And notice again, MACDs today are just starting to cross zero versus whereas previous highs we were already at the peak of that moving average convergence. XES, oil and gas and equipment and services. So this particular sector has been absolutely beat down, but notice we did have a double bottom here, and we didn't have the significant oversold nature in the second time around, and we had a very nice positive divergence with double bottom in price, but certainly not a double bottom in negative momentum. And so now we've closed above that downtrend, and looks like we're really going to make a push here towards that 13 level. And the oil and gas exploration and production ETF, another one that had a double bottom, but again with positive divergence. That's precisely what you want to see at bottoms. We're slowly breaking above that downtrend, and looks like we're again set to break above that 28 level, and then make a surge towards the 34, and I think we're going to make a nice move higher. Again, when this sector does finally turn, you're going to see this break far above 44. So this is what you want to keep an eye on for. Right now, this is just a trade from 28 to say 34, potentially 38. But what happens when this goes to 66 and 80, and it very well may happen. So there's a lot of value in the sector, and this is where fundamentals matter. And we'll try to cover both fundamentals and technicals over the course of the next coming months. So what we've done here is we've put together by size. We've got small cap, mid cap, and large cap names. And we also have microcap, but we're not going to cover it in this video. So we have all these names for example, in the small cap sector. Now, of course, we're not going to cover them all, but this is something that I do on a daily basis. I look through the various different sectors, and what I rank them by highest momentum. And so I'm going to pull up just a couple of the names right now that have some of the highest momentum, and see some of the opportunities. This is in the small cap space for the time being. So notice right now this is Flowtech. We're consolidating here above their 13 and 26 moving averages, and just we're forming a base above that 50 RSI level, right below 61, right around here, and we're setting up for a move much higher. This is one of those charts that looks to be setting up for a move towards 6, 7, 8, and I really like the setup here. Select Energy Services, WTTR, another one that's consolidating above its moving averages and above the 50 RSI level, and it's just setting up with consolidating for the next move higher. Helix Energy Solutions, this is one of the better ones because it's got this coiled pennant pattern, and we've got the support with the crossing over moving averages, and we just broke above the upper boundary here, so it looks like we want to make a move towards 11 right now, and so there's some very nice upside in that's well defined in this particular name. Here's Pump, Pro Petra Holding Company. This one I don't necessarily like it all that much because right now there's some significant RSI resistance right over here. This is the last time we broke down was around this level, so even if there's some short-term upside, I don't think we're going to get past this without some significant resistance, so I'll close that one out. Here's one that's breaking to 52-week highs, and this is great to see because when you love those companies that do well even when energy or oil is not doing well. So here we are breaking to I don't know if it's all-time highs, but certainly 52-week highs, multi-year highs, and it looks to be setting up for that next leg higher. So this is a great one because it sets up a very good risk reward where potentially you go long here with a stop loss below, say, 46. So all of it above 46 is going to be very nice upside for you. Here's McDermott International. This one is great because it's a bottoming play with momentum. You notice this double bottom with just continued positive momentum. That's one of my better formations, and a break above 9 right here was that perfect entry for you. So you buy above 9, you can put a stop loss potentially below the 13-week moving average around 826, so your loss is defined, and I think that this is going to head towards 13, possibly 16 in an oil breakout. Now let's take a look at some of the mid-cap names as ranked by momentum. What I want to do here also, just for education purposes, I want to take a look at some of the names that have been killed for the last couple of months and see if there's an opportunity here. Perhaps there isn't, but still want to go through it for education purposes. So this is great. World Fuel Services. This one is in above that 69.70 level, and that's very important because although it's overbought, this is where some of the best gains do occur. And this is a well-defined breakout above that 33 level, and above that 33 level, that's a perfect entry, and with a stop loss again below that 13 EMA around 32.30. And I think that this has the potential to be a runner all the way into the 40s and 50s, especially if oil breaks the way I believe it looks to be headed right now. NGL Energy Partners, another one that's consolidating. You've seen this similar pattern in various charts that we've shown earlier in this watch list. The difference is this one is consolidating above the 61 level, right below the 70. That's an even more bullish consolidation than the one that consolidates above the 50 RSI. So this one's setting up for a very nice move, likely first target around that 19 area, and then beyond that there's some substantial upside. Here's the YPF Sociedad Anónima. Pardon my French, just kidding. So here's a great rounded bottom here with the 13 crossing the 26, and when we broke out above that 17 level, that was your trigger point to buy. It's not too late. It might pull back some, but it's not too late to buy here because this is going into the 20s, and it's not even consolidating here. This one just seems like it wants to move up. Once we back tested that 50 level, it was sayonara for buying this one long. Drillquip, DRK. This one's interesting because it's been just consolidating here for a while, a little noisy. But notice that you've got RSI creating a bit of a positive divergence where right now momentum is higher around 40, 47 versus when we were at 48. So, while a pullback so far today, I think that this one's getting set for a very nice move higher as well. Texas Pacific TPL, this one is consolidating firmly above its moving averages with the 13 above the 26. We back tested the 50 level, so whatever was overbought now has been that condition has been removed, and this one looks to be setting up for a move towards that 1,000 area. So a lot of upside. Here's Range Resources. So this is one of those bottom plays. I don't see anything here. This one's more likely to go oversold and move lower. So we're going to drop this one. Centennial Resource Development, another one. This one's kind of bottoming here, so perhaps something to watch in the coming weeks to see if you can break above this 38 level of resistance. But until it does that, I'd rather give this upside until the technicals improve. Here's Superior Energy Services. This one also is kind of broke down pretty dramatically. There's some opportunities in these sort of names, but I just don't like them because typically when you break down like this, that means you've got debt problems. Whiting Petroleum Corp. This one's consolidating here. It's creating positive divergence. You notice that a low of 15 had higher RSI than when we had a low of 18. So this one I take a look at. If you pull it up on the daily right now, as I'll do so here. Notice this positive base that's being built, and now we're closing in on a break above 50. There's some consolidation probably around that 26 day moving average, but if we can break higher, there can be a very strong run towards that 30 level soon. Chesapeake, this is the weekly, also positive divergence. So I like Chesapeake right now as a bottom play. You kind of put a stop below that 170 area, and there's potential very, very rapid upside if oil takes off. Finally, let's take a look at some of the large cap names and see if we might find some opportunities. I like large caps because what you can do is you can buy call options, you can buy bullish spreads, and there are great opportunities to really take advantage of like the low volatility on some of these names. And I'm going to pull up some of these names at the bottom, just as we did earlier, and see what we can learn from there. All right, so starting with Anadarko Petroleum, this one's consolidating above the two moving averages and setting itself up for a move much higher. I think this probably sees above 100, possibly at some point this year or next. Here's Hess Corp. Hess Corp also above its moving averages, back tested the 50 level, dropped right below it, but looking to move higher. I would just draw a line right around here around the 70 level, and if this can break 70, I think this moves much higher as well. Notice PPO is breaking above 0. TC Energy Corp, another one that just beautiful stair-step upward trajectory, and it looks like it's setting up for that move above 50, and it's firmly back above that 69 area of RSI, and so long as it stays up there, I would want to remain long. If I'm in it, and if I'm not, this is a good opportunity to buy long with a stop loss perhaps below 48 area, and see if this breaks out to the upside, or perhaps you just wait for it to do so above 50, and that's your trigger to go long. Here's Kinder Morgan, another consolidation, and looking like it's setting up. There's so much upside here; it's incredible. I mean, we don't have any real price resistance until you get to around the 29 area. So this one has incredible upside potential as it's consolidating below the 70 RSI. One Oak, another one consolidating for that move higher. PPO just ready to curl above 0, and we're consolidating right at that 61 level of RSI. This one looks great. Pembina Pipeline, another one consolidating, setting up for a move higher. EQT Corp. So this is a bottoming play. I like some bottoming plays because they have a lot more upside potential. Notice a double bottom with positive divergence. So this one, do your due diligence on. If it doesn't have any debt payments or anything, this could be a good leverage opportunity to the upside. Occidental Petroleum, don't necessarily see anything right now that excites me about this particular chart. Halliburton, however, does. So we've got a double bottom. Well, it's not so much double bottom. We've got a lower price on the second leg of this bottom with positive divergence, and so definitely want to look to see if there's opportunity. Here's the daily. It also getting set to break above that 50, and I think this could sharply move towards 26, followed by a move towards 32 to the upside. So I like Halliburton here. Here's National Oilwell Varco. This one also double bottom, lower leg, lower bottom, but momentum did not make a new low, and so this one is setting up for a move higher as well. And then finally, on this particular watch list in Canacorp, same type of thing, double bottom, higher divergence, positive divergence on the chart, which suggests that we likely see much higher prices in the not too distant future. This is one of those that once it breaks above this neckline around the 8 area, this can really move really quickly. Again, all of these are leveraged to oil. So if oil is starting to break higher, a lot of these companies, when oil moved towards that 70 area last time in 2008, they hedged, and so they didn't really participate in a lot of that initial upside. But now they have the opportunity to participate, and I think many of them will do tremendously well. You saw how we did in 2016, move from 292 to 1360. That's the sort of move that I could expect to see in a renewed bull market in energy, which appears to be on the cusp. So anyway, guys, this is the first of the videos. I'd love to hear your feedback. Feel free to shoot me some names that you'd like me to cover, and definitely don't forget to follow us if you haven't already done so on Twitter, StockTwits, and YouTube. Subscribe at Moniology, and keep us in mind as we launch our premium service as well as the freemium service through Moniology.com. Sometime in July, we're working very hard to make a great service that's very educational, user-friendly, and provides tremendous value. And with your support, it's just going to get better over time. We want to build a community around you, and so I want to hear your feedback. Appreciate it. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.